maybe I'm just being people have said that I'm being mean when I say that I think that she's intellectually disabled, but I genuinely truly do believe that. So
But
I don't.
wouldn't people? I mean, it seems reasonable to think that because you have this kind of spiteful relationship with the Coomer Gremlin, that it is politically expedient at the moment for you to say that about this chick for the purposes of right now she can enact a sense of revenge that you yourself cannot.
Well, I've actually been pretty open about the fact that what I think that Destiny did is not that bad. I think that it's I think that if he filmed Cherry without her knowledge, is which has been alleged by Cherry, I think that's pretty bad.
But with Cherry, wasn't what was factually going on with Cherry that she turned her husband into a cuckold and was sleeping with Destiny in order to like do the how Stella got her groove back arc. She was
Andrew Wilson confronts an ex-Destiny Orbiter on the Destiny leaks. This ex-Destiny Orbiter has come to give her thoughts on the situation, and her and Andrew Wilson just give their thoughts on just these current allegations with Destiny, and even Harry Sisson gets brought up in this. Let's see how this goes down.
funny.
It's pretty crazy.
Before we even dive into the like small Twitter exchange that we had, this whole Destiny thing, that's been pretty funny.
It's pretty crazy. It's crazy. Even when you don't think I'm gonna be right, I end up being right. Is the moral of the story.
Yeah, I think that this can show a little bit of contrast, though, right? So, years ago, I had a discussion with Mr. Girl on the program. I always felt like he thought that I ambushed him, even though I was pretty upfront with him about what I wanted to discuss in DMs and things like that, and that I had a different position than he did. But I had a conversation with him when he had released the Destiny Manifesto. You remember all that?
Yeah.
So he'd released, so he'd released this ridiculously long, insanely long manifesto, and he did it all via text instead of inserting video clips, and there was all sorts of crazy shit with it. But stupid me, I actually took the time and read the whole thing. I actually read the whole thing.
His book, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, I had him on to talk about it, and we ended up getting into an argument about halfway through.
I think I remember a little.
Yeah, because I said that
the women had culpability.
Yeah, major culpability, and that it wasn't just a. So from my prism, my worldview, they're all bad people, not some of them. And you can all we're arguing about is the degree. It's like a bunch of thieves stole a bunch of shit, and then one the other one in the back for his share of the treasure. It's like, sure, okay, well, yeah, you're a badder person, I guess, but none of you are good people here. And that's still the same take I have on what's going on with the Coomer, right? With the Coomer Gremlin, is that he released these nudes to some broad that he was trying to bang, obviously, and he probably did it without consent, right? He seems to have admitted that is the case. Yeah. But these women were all gravitating in his orbit because literally they are jockeying for position using his clout, right?
Sure.
I mean, that is just factually the case.
I mean, yeah. I mean, because you have to know what you're getting in. You have to know what you're getting into when you're hanging around with Destiny on that level. Like, how can these girls not know the type of person Destiny is and that he's doing that stuff? It's not like they were under the guise like, oh, he's a great guy and stuff, and they were duped. Like, they had some familiarity about how Destiny was. And by the way, I just love the Coomer Gremlin nickname. That's great.
Yeah.
I think it brings into I obviously I think the women are culpable as well. I think that I was culpable for the way that things went down with me and Steven. I obviously made myself within proximity to him for the fruits of it, obviously. And obviously it didn't turn out very well for me. But I did ultimately put myself in that position. I've been very open about that. With Pixie, I think it's a little different. I do think Pixie is very naive. It's a matter of how. I mean,
you really think so?
Yes, I do. I mean, and I've said this to be funny, but I do actually believe that Pixie might have a learning disability or is intellectually disabled. I don't think that like Pixie can have a conversation like you and me are having right now. I don't think that she has like a modicum of self-awareness. Like I think that she really struggles with like bigger picture things. It could be autism, it could be something else. I'm not her doctor, I'm not her psychiatrist, I'm not her psychologist. But I do believe that if you are a man getting involved with someone like Pixie, I think you are. But that's, you know, I obviously think that she knew what she was doing getting involved with Steven. Obviously, she had proximity to political, you know, gain. But then also you have to take into account like what these women are running from when they're running into the arms of Steven, right? Like I was running from hopefully like a career away from work, right? Like this was like a golden beacon to me that I could maybe just move on from doing like OnlyFans onto, you know, having a political career.
She wanted to move on from OnlyFans to Only Destinies.
Seemed like a better idea for me, and I think she's running from poverty also. So I think I don't think it's evilness, right? Like I don't think that it's Pixie's like, oh, I'm trying to get as much money and fame out of this as possible. I don't think that that's what women are doing. I think that they are. There's a reason why they're going into this sort of thing. There's a reason why women clout chase, right? It's to secure something because it's better than what they have currently. So I have a little empathy for them in that way. But to let him film it, holy, like yeah, that's another thing. Like you've got to be so to let a guy like Steven have access to a video to any guy, sure. Yeah. To any guy who I think probably isn't you're like not married to have something like that.
I wouldn't even do it if you were married. It's just bad precedent, right?
I think maybe that's true. I mean, if you're being the most cautious, sure.
Well,
but certainly
are you aware that there's so I adamantly disagree with you here. So there is a crew which exists, a life ruination crew which exists kind of absent the orbit, but within the orbit of destiny. Part of that crew, a lot of these people actually live together. Lauren De Laguna is one. Pixie lived with Lauren De Laguna. There's a multitude, actually, of these creators who live together and engage in life ruination tactics of various creators, often with lies. So, for instance, Lauren De Laguna was running around saying that a person who was an audience member of mine was basically soliciting her for and stalking her and all sorts of things, and then admitted to me privately that that was not the case, and that she just wanted to get some like kind of revenge on this guy or something like this. And I published those DMs, and she didn't deny it. She just got really upset, right? And so now I've become public enemy number one for her because I wasn't going to let her ruin somebody's life. But these people do operate as part of a crew or like a minor syndicate or something like this for the purposes of both gaining clout and destroying men's lives. And Pixie is definitely a part of that crew. So the idea that she's like this naive girl and things like this, I kind of reject it. I've met her in person. I've debated with her several times. She has a degree in philosophy, a minor degree in philosophy.
You could be a baked potato with a degree in philosophy.
Well, I mean, most non-STEM degrees you can be a baked potato and get, right? Sure. C's get degrees, as they say. But I don't think that these women are non-culpable victims, but rather they also run their own small syndicates, life ruination syndicates like these. That is factually a thing that they do. And
do you really believe that it's calculated? I mean, yes. I think Lauren De Laguna is another woman who is deeply mentally unwell, who definitely has more.
So are all these girls just mentally unwell or autistics or something like that? I mean, come on, this girl femoid is trying to take away any responsibility from these women.
Maybe I wouldn't say evil, but it has more nasty things going on in her personality. So I understand why, you know, She scorned because Destiny didn't want to pursue a relationship with her. But I really do think Pixie probably just got caught up in that mess. I really do believe that Pixie is a victim in all of this, of Lauren De Laguna, of Destiny, of, you know, I think that she should probably, I mean, maybe I'm just being, people have said that I'm being mean when I say that I think that she's intellectually disabled, but I genuinely, truly do believe that. So
But
wouldn't
people, I mean, it seems reasonable to think that because you have this kind of spiteful relationship with the Coomer Gremlin, that it is politically expedient at the moment for you to say that about this chick for the purposes of right now she can enact a sense of revenge that you yourself cannot.
Well, I've actually been pretty open about the fact that what I think that Destiny did is not that bad. I think that it's I think that if he filmed Cherry without her knowledge, has been alleged by Cherry, I think that's pretty bad.
But with Cherry, wasn't what was factually going on with Cherry that she turned her husband into a cuckold and was sleeping with Destiny in order to like do the how Stella got her groove back arc. She was saying the way that she got back into enjoying, according to her early post, was because she was plowing the Coomer Gremlin while married. And so how does a person how does a normal person, a normal human being take this and contextualize it and not think, you, right? You lady, you awful, horrible person, you got exactly what you deserve. You know what I mean? Like, how do you not contextualize things like that?
I mean, I don't think that what she was doing, I don't believe in open marriages anymore. I don't believe in open relationships anymore whatsoever.
Yeah, what happened with that anyway?
What in my own situation?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, you don't have to dive into specific details.
I wanted different things. He was a very modern man, very, whatever. Much love to him. Literally nothing but respect and love, but we just wanted different things. So I am in a relationship with someone else who's great. We are in a committed monogamous relationship. And I am much happier. Okay. But yeah, that's it. There's really no drama there. It just is what it is. But yeah, I have no idea about that whole thing. But I do, with the Pixie thing in particular, I think that if you guys were like sort of sending it to each other, I mean, I don't think it's that crazy to show someone. That's what I mean. I just wouldn't let anyone film themselves having sex with me and then hold on to it. Like I would just never do that. So I think that she obviously is culpable in that because she allowed that. And then also, I don't think he wasn't the person who leaked it like publicly, right? Or we don't know. I guess we literally don't know.
No, I don't. Nobody's really accusing him of that, but rather that he was privately sending people these videos, and then based on the private sending of the videos, this chick claims that her Discord was hacked. Chances are actually pretty good that here's what actually happened, at least the cursory investigation that I did into it, which wasn't very much, just kind of what's known. You can piece together most of what happened. Destiny gets off seemingly on sending videos of him plowing men and women to other women. He seems to get off on doing that. And so what he did was he's probably sent these to several different people who he considered inside of some kind of trust circle. I think that this particular woman just thought that this would blow Destiny up, and so she claimed she was hacked when likely she actually wasn't hacked, and then just posted these to the one place that you would post them, right? Kiwi Farms, and then said, "Oh my God, I'm a victim too. I was hacked. Yeah. Oh no," you know what I mean? In fact, this is such a prevalent thing in this industry to fake that you've been hacked, that I've actually gotten emails from professional companies that have requested that I release a tape between myself and my wife and then leak it through the culpability of I was hacked. Kid you not?
Man, that is just some raunchy stuff. I mean, what the hell? That is just insane. Ugh.
That was the request.
These Jesus. This is a weird industry. It's a very weird industry. Yeah, this is for everyone's weird. Everyone's a degenerate in this industry. I mean, not everyone, but certainly like a lot of the liberal side. Most of the liberal side is completely out of their mind. So it is what it is. But yeah, I don't know. Poor Pixie.
Yeah, this
I don't know.
the particular
It sucks,
company.
but I don't think
Yeah.
that this. I think it makes Destiny an asshole. I would call Destiny an asshole, degenerate, and I don't think he cares about women. I think he's a hack, but I don't think he's a super for doing what he did to Destiny. But apparently, a lot of people are trying to wager that. I just think that he's taking advantage of exactly the political agenda he's toting, of course. Like that's, when you're pro women's liberation and all you talk about is, well, women should be free and have the way that they want. Who do you think that's good for? Destiny. So I
Harry
completely understand why he's doing-
Sisson. It's good for Harry
Sure.
Sisson. He
Sure.
seems to have been benefiting greatly from the women's revolution and women's liberation.
Of course. Yeah.
But
The
it seems
liberal men stand the most to gain with the liberal agenda.
It does seem to me, though, that interestingly enough, with Harry Sisson and with Destiny both, there's like a double-edged sword, which is okay if there's a reasonable amount of degeneracy which is allowed as long as the women who are involved are allowing it. But the second they feel as though they have been played or feel as though you are doing X, Y, or Z, they just sort of label you as, and then bam, career destroyed, right? Because I mean that is in fact what's happening with Harry Sisson. He didn't assault anybody. He committed zero crimes. He basically just a bunch of different chicks and made a bunch of up in order to do it, right?
Sure.
Is scumbag behavior even from the leftist standards? Yeah, I mean, I guess, but how is it like again? How is a normal person supposed to contextualize this? Where you're like, who cares? These people advocate for open relationships and like simulated sex in the street with parades, and our heart's supposed to go out to the fact that this guy humped a couple of chicks and lied about it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, with their own worldview, it makes no sense to say what he's saying is bad. Like with their worldview, it doesn't mean that much. So it doesn't matter if you sent a couple nudes. If it doesn't matter that much, then it doesn't matter that much. But obviously, internally, those women know that does matter a lot and that their body does matter, and a woman and a man lying to have access to you does matter because who you share your body with is important, right? It's like it's our internal true animalistic nature and state to know that's sacred, and obviously everything that they're touting is completely against that, and I don't know why they're still touting it. A lot of women are waking up. Actually, I see it all over social media. I see it all over the left also, is that women actually are waking up, and the Me Too movement makes sense if you're honestly a conservative. It doesn't make sense if you're a liberal. It just doesn't. This is like, if you think that you can buy and pay for and all these things, then why wouldn't you getting a promotion based off of sucking your boss's absolutely would make sense in that world. Like, why wouldn't it? It doesn't make any sense that it wouldn't. It's all over the place. Their stuff is it's just excuses for not wanting to live life with restraint, any sort of restraint, which calamity would ensue if that was the case, and it is ensuing. Over the past 10 years, calamity has ensued in spaces with men and women being involved. So
yeah, I mean,
it's on its way back.
I think there's some agreement we can have there.
I mean, yeah, that's an excellent point, though. When they come down on Harry Sisson or Destiny for these things, and it's like, yeah, but I mean, isn't that all okay in your worldview? Isn't liberation with women and stuff? Isn't this consistent with it? But it seems it's just whenever the girls' fifis are hurt or what have you. Well, then it's bad. Women could, in their worldview, women could withdraw consent at any time, even after the act has been done. They could consent in the moment, but as soon as some time goes by and they feel like, hey, wait a minute, I feel like I was being used, well, then they could withdraw it, and then, oh, well, that guy becomes a bad person now. Maybe if everyone just kept it in their pants and just controlled themselves, these situations wouldn't happen. But there's one side preaching that, and there's another side that doesn't believe in that at all, that believes that you should just do whatever you want and just suffer no consequences for it. But it takes away any personal responsibility, and it takes away any like intelligence on their side. Because if you just rely on everyone else to protect you, I mean, well, then you just leave yourself vulnerable to these things. You got to learn how to protect yourself. And you protect yourself by denying yourself certain things. But what did you guys think about this? What did you think about what Andrew Wilson had to say? Sound off in the comment section below. Subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this. And if you did enjoy it, if you like seeing more content like this, I got a whole bunch more content very similar to this that is on my channel that I think you'll enjoy.